Alright guys, so this next video is pretty much going to be about stranger danger. I've been talking to Katie a lot about stranger danger just because she is 4 and she's starting to understand, there's not a lot of people out there that are safe and that are trustworthy. And I mean, she's still little and I'm going to continue to tell her, and as she gets older and older, you can tell them more things. Um, Number one, it would be set ground rules. Like, give them boundaries. If they're going to play outside with their friends, be like, hey, you can't go past 3 houses down. Like, say the friend lives 3 houses down, you can't go past those 3 houses. Um, Make sure that you tell me what time you're going to be home so I can wait outside for you, type of thing. Um, my dad always used to tell me, hey, come home before the street lights are on. My dad was never home. Like, he was always working late. But his one rule was always make sure you're home before the street lights come on, because that's when predators tend to come out. I mean, it's easier for them to snatch people after dark. Step two would be don't be afraid to talk about it. Um, your kids may know more than you expect them to. I mean, when I first started talking about stranger danger with Katie, she knew a lot more than I expected her to. We were at the park one day. She was about maybe like 2 and a half, and we were at the park, and some guy walked up and he said, "Well, you're a pretty girl." He's like, "This is my dog. Would you like to pet her?" And I was like a couple feet behind her, and she's like, "No, thank you." And he's like, "Are you sure?" And Katie, of course, said, "No, thank you," again. He's like, "What's your name?" And he's like, she turned around, she looked at him, she looked at me, and she said, "I don't know, ask my mom." And she came and ran to me. She said, "It's not okay to talk to strangers." So I'm glad that she had like that instinct at such a young age. So don't ever be afraid to talk to your kids, no matter how old they are. It's never too young to know about stranger danger. There's so many bad things that happen in this world today that kids need to know young. Um, like I said, don't be surprised by what your kids know. I mean, they may know more than you expect, more than you know. They do teach it sometimes in school, sometimes behind your back, sometimes not. Um, see, number four, like, know yourself. Know your own attitudes and opinions before you state anything to your kids, because if you say something and you don't believe it and you have different standards or opinions on it, and your kids ever find out or hear, they're going to wonder why you weren't honest with them. And I mean, kids hold that against you, especially littler ones. I mean, they expect their parents to be honest and open with them. So always know yourself and what you think and what you feel before you tell your kids anything. Make sure it's age appropriate information. Like, I'm not going to go around telling Katie, hey, there's bad people out there that are going to rape you or something. It's not okay. She's too little to know that. But it's a lot different if you're talking to a 12-year-old or a 14-year-old or even an 18-year-old. Maybe 18, but they still don't know everything. They're still growing and maturing. Um, Practice. Have a friend that maybe your kid doesn't know very well, or maybe have like a coworker, your boss or something. Come and drive by and ask like your child or children, like, hey, come in my car, I have candy. Or have them pretend to grab their hands and like they're a stranger danger and to try and take them away. It helps them to acknowledge and see what can happen in that kind of a situation. It's always nice. Practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. Um, Teach them awareness. Glance up when you're at the mall or if you're at the park or you're out with anyone, and show them like people that like the different kind of people that are out there. It doesn't necessarily have to be bad. Just show them their surroundings and help them be more aware of what is around them, because that will help as well. Um, Create a stay safe rule list. I mean, there's this Pooh Bear book that I read to Katie every night, and it has some stay safe rules. One, never talk to strangers. Two, never take candies from a stranger. If someone tries to touch you, scream no. Stuff like that. Make a simple list. And again, age appropriate for your kids. That way, so they can physically and mentally remember them, and it'll help them in the long run. Make sure you speak up. I mean, if you feel like there's something your kids should know, tell them, let them know. Kids are amazing. They're brilliant. They're a lot smarter than a lot of adults give them credit for. So just never be afraid to speak up to your kids. Um, I always say love equals strength. If you love your kids and show them that you love them, they feel the love back and they know what the love feeling is compared to like a stranger. Some kids don't get told enough how much they're loved and how much they're appreciated, and it creates an environment of love and strength, so it makes them stronger as an individual. So those are my stay safe rules. Make sure you talk to your kids. We live in a very, very, very harsh world, and there's a new kid every day on the news, murdered, raped, kidnapped. I mean, it's terrible. So make sure you talk to your kids. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Bye.